Welcome to your Real Estate Review with Alan Canas of Engel Völkers Silicon Valley, your weekly getaway to the pulsating heart of the global real estate market. Join us as we bring you exclusive interviews with top producing real estate agents from around the globe. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or just a real estate enthusiast, this is your insider look into the pros, cons, and the captivating allure of the world's most sought after locations. Let's discover where your next dream home awaits. Buckle up for a real estate journey like no other. This is your Real Estate Review with Alan Canas of Engel Völkers Silicon Valley. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Review with me, Alan Canas. Let's see if I can talk, of Engel Völkers Silicon Valley. I'm here with a special guest, David Dell'Olio from Orlando, Florida. Hello, David. Thank you for being on the show.
Nice to be here.
Great. How's the weather there?
Weather is perfect. Sunshine and 90s.
You have one of the most awesome weather areas with the sun. So I never come back not tan. So David, can you start by telling us a little bit about your background in real estate and your specific experience with clients relocating to Orlando?
Sure. That's quite the lead-in question, I must say.
Isn't it?
My background with real estate, I've been doing real estate for 3-4 years now, and absolutely love it. A lot of people I know say that they got into real estate to help people, and that is honestly the reason why I got in there. I've had the pleasure to work with so many good people. And the joy that you see when you find somebody that perfect home is amazing. But I've always been in that customer service industry, whether it's been, I was in photography before that, all through college, waited tables, bartended, the whole deal. And it's always just so nice to see the people that you meet are so appreciative when you do stuff for them like that.
Helping people along in one of the biggest purchases in their lives is very rewarding. I'm right there with you. So I feel that. You talked a little bit about what you did before real estate. Was photography your main fun activity before real estate?
Yes. For about 30 years, I was a corporate photographer, which meant I traveled internationally all over the world. And right before COVID, I have a 12-year-old son now. And right before COVID, he came to me and said, "Dad, this is unfair. You're having to leave again." Because I would go for 2 weeks, come back for 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks were spent with him, with catching up on everything I missed for the past 2 weeks, and then getting ready to leave for the next 2 weeks. So about that time, I started to think, I've been doing this for a long time. I love it. It's fun, but I'm tired of being curled up on a plane for, 24 hours at a time. So then COVID hit, and it was a no-brainer. That, flying kind of became taboo because, you didn't want to catch COVID. And so I took a year off and sat with him. I was that stay-at-home teacher, dad type of, he was online learning, and it was great. And it couldn't have happened at a better year. And then after that, I was like, well, what else do I want to do? And my sister and my brother-in-law are up in Massachusetts. They own they're an attorney state, and he's an attorney there and does a lot of closings. And they had said, you should look into this. You'd be great at it. And I did, got my license, and been doing it ever since.
That's wonderful. And you have such a great personality and knowledge of Orlando and your community. So it is the perfect fit. So I agree with your family.
I think so. It's been a lot of fun. And I've met just some really incredible people doing it.
So we know that Orlando is the home of one of my favorite places is Disney World.
Okay.
And Universal.
Right.
So what are some of the other unique features or attractions of Orlando that draw people to looking at this community?
Well, so it's interesting that you say that because actually Disney is not in Orlando.
Oh.
Everybody flies to the Orlando airport, but Disney is in a little town called Lake Buena Vista, which is If you were to draw a triangle, and on one of the bottom bars of your triangle was the airport,
Hmm.
go straight over and you'll find Disney. But you've got to go way up here to find
Ah,
Orlando. Orlando is about 40 minutes from Disney itself.
wow. So
So,
being called Orlando Disney, I guess maybe that was easier than saying Lake Buena Vista. Buena
well, it's
Vista.
the airport. Everybody knows the airport. And it's a
Yeah.
great airport to get in and out of. That was one of the reasons why, when I traveled doing photography, it was so nice to get in and out of. But one of the reasons why people really want to move here is honestly, economically, Orlando is incredible. We are we were the second highest in growth last year in the country. And
Wow.
it's because of the economics, because of the outdoor lifestyles, because of no taxation. You got to love no state tax. Coming from California, I know you'd love that.
Oh, definitely. How would you describe the current real estate market in Orlando?
The market is good, especially with the big drop yesterday. It's only going to pick up. We had the beginning of the year. Everybody kind of tightened up. Nobody wanted to go from a 3.5 to an 8 to a 7.5. And as it started to come down, we've seen more and more listings come on, and we've also seen more buyers. Now I think this is going to really start bringing people out of the woodworks on both sides. Prices have remained solid. There hasn't been any decrease. If anything, stuff has been gradually starting to move up again a little.
Here where I am, I'm in the San Francisco Silicon Valley.
Mhm.
We don't have a lot of new builds. We have little areas where they might do a four subdivision or houses taken down to stud and rebuilt back up, but there's no big developments. Do you have where in Orlando where people can still move in and buy new developments?
Well, so we do have a lot of outlying developments that are going on.
Okay.
I try to when I meet some new clients who are buyers, I try to describe to them that Orlando is not New York City, but Orlando proper is all built up. So you're either going to have to buy something, tear it down if you want a new build, or you're going to have to go with what is there. Now, new builds down by the airport, we have a section called Lake Nona. There's still several phases to go there. Pulte Homes has just announced this big 10-year plan, which is still, but it's outside of what you would really consider Orlando.
Okay. And talking about challenges, what are some of the common challenges or pitfalls that people face when relocating to Orlando, and how do you help them navigate through this?
Well, so it's really kind of getting to know your buyers if they're relocating and what's important to them. I've learned, do not make assumptions. Okay, because what I would think somebody would want might not be for them. The other thing is, everybody who comes to Orlando wants a lakefront house. Well, there's only so many lakes, and there's people who already want those lakefront houses. So it's really about finding them the right neighborhood with exactly what they want and also what they need. I had a buyer the other day who was talking to me, and he lives, imagine he works 20 minutes north of Orlando. His kids are 20 minutes, go to school 20 minutes east of Orlando, and they live 20 minutes west of Orlando.
Uh,
And they're renting right now, but they're like, well, where could we buy? And it was a problem of, well, his kids, being that they're 10, 11, they're going to be spending a lot of time at that school, and their work's not going away, so they've got to do that commute one way or another. And so there was really only one good neighborhood for them to move into, and so we chose that neighborhood to look for them. But it's really knowing that hyper local neighborhood, that if you don't know what neighborhood is known for what, then you're going to run into problems.
and I think that's what makes you so good at what you do to knowing and helping people navigate through this. Um, can you give us a sense of the lifestyle in Orlando?
If you like to be outside, the world is your oyster here. We have great weather, pretty much, I mean, almost year round. There's no snow days here. So a couple days it gets close, but there are no snow days. In fact, the weather is so good here. Every now and then you want a rainy day because you feel like you just need to curl up on the couch. Um, it is everything. There's so many outdoor events and activities and concerts and exercise programs, and you can go kayaking and running. And it's just, you just walk outside and you just do it.
Well, I know when I pack for Orlando, it's typically shorts. That's
Yes.
the
You only need to carry on.
yeah.
And half of it is shorts and the other half is sunblock.
Oh, there you go. Talking a little bit about the weather and the climate,
Mhm.
how is the business and economic climate in Orlando?
It's very, very strong. The Economic Development Commission here is on top of things. In fact, they're constantly putting out. We get about 1,100 people a week that move to Central Florida. We had, I think it was like almost 56,000 last year that came in. And so the economy's strong. What has really helped is we have done, there's a new medical city, they call it Medical City, down near Lake Nona. So it's a lot of like Nemours, Advent Health. They're really expanding. UCF has blown up where now what was an in-state school has now become one of the largest in the nation. And their programs are amazing. They have put a campus down in Medical City. So they're really attracting the researchers, the doctors, and they're making it very like what I had read at one point when I was in college is pretty much 60% of the people stay where they go to college. It's just your first time of being an adult, being out on your own. And if you happen to like the weather, which we do here, they pretty much settle in that area, in and around that area.
That's nice to hear because I hear so many times where, you go to school and then you get the heck out, but people want to stay. It's an inviting community.
In fact, I was just reading something from the Economic Development Commission, and they said that over the last year, 69% of the people over 25 who moved to Orlando had some sort of college degree.
Okay.
And 15% of those 15% had a PhD. So
Wow.
you're getting like a really strong young workforce coming in.
In what ways do you, as a real estate agent, provide value to someone relocating to Orlando?
Well, I think that, again, if you know the neighborhoods and you know your buyers, you'll know what neighborhoods will work for them and what won't. And that cuts out a lot of running around, looking over here, looking over there.
Okay.
Neighborhoods do appear sometimes similar, but I honestly believe that every single neighborhood has their own personality. Okay. The types of people that live there. Are they young? Do they want to go out? Are they more family orientated? Do they want quiet after 9 o'clock? Little things like that make a big difference. And it makes a big difference in the happiness of the homeowners, even though that when they're looking, they might not know that this is a very loud area at night. I had to, some of my buyers, they lived in a great building downtown. And when they moved in, it was perfect for them. But then as they got older, it was, it's so hectic here on the weekends and it's so loud during the night. People, are going to like 11 o'clock and that's not where they were in life anymore. So honestly, we moved them maybe 10 blocks away to a nice, quiet, small street, slightly different neighborhood, but they love it there. They can still walk down to where they were, but yet they've got their peace and quiet when they need it.
Oh, that's great. It's good to know that they could rely on you to assist them with that. I think that, well, so many times I hear that real estate agents, once the sale is done, they're done. And so
Oh no,
no,
no, no, no.
I don't get that from successful agents.
Yeah, well, no. In fact, I have actually this one couple. Um, they had looked and looked and looked, and we finally found something that they liked. They weren't 100% sure on it, and so we put in an offer. It got accepted on Friday. Now, I
Wonderful.
know this is probably not the typical thing to do, but they had the inspector coming on Monday. And Friday, I basically told him, I said, look, for the next 10 days, because we had a 10-day inspection period. So for the next 10 days, if for any reason you are not comfortable, you're not happy, you're having second thoughts, you don't think this is going to fit, whatever, let me know and we can cancel and you can get your escrow back. And they called me Sunday night. They had thought about it. They went back and forth and they were all apologetic. And I said, no, don't be apologetic. I would rather have you in your perfect home than regretting what we did because you didn't speak up. And the husband said to me, had you not told us that on Friday, we probably wouldn't have said anything. We would have gone through inspection. And I'm like, no. And to this day, I still talk to them probably 3-4 times a month just to hear how their new place is and what they're doing and just keeping in touch.
That's great. It's a piece of customer service that is lacking, I feel, in our industry. I hear so many times that the real estate agent yelled at me, or they, oh, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
Or that they don't know the real estate agent's name, or as soon as I signed on the dotted line, I didn't have any more contact with my agent. And that's unfortunate. It really is, because not everybody is like that. And you're a true testament, David.
Well, thank you. I think you are too.
Thank you. I was hoping you were going to say that.
Well, you wouldn't be doing this if you weren't one of the better real estate people in the market, on the market, however you want to say it.
Thank you.
You really want to promote what we do and promote the professionals in our industry.
Yes. Thank you. Going back about you, what's one piece of advice you would give someone who is thinking about relocating to Orlando?
Hire a good real estate agent. It does make all the difference in the world. But really understand what you want when you come to Orlando. Why are you moving to Orlando? Do you just want someplace more southern? Is it going to be your forever home? Like, understand really what you want. And it's very easy I want to move here, but I haven't seen it and I don't know what it's like. Come, spend some time, see what the locals do here, and then make sure that it's right for you. Because like you said, it is a huge investment for somebody.
Yeah, it really is.
Rather than making those mistakes, let's get those mistakes out of the way as early as possible.
Where do you think the majority of the people relocating to Orlando are coming from?
Oh, that's easy. The majority of the people are actually coming from New England and New York.
Okay.
Now, internationally, I would say there's a lot of Canadians who love coming down here and getting out of the
cold.
Out of the cold, and a lot of Brazilians.
Okay.
For some reason, we have this sister connection with Brazil here, and some Brits. Now, with that being said, a lot of the Canadians, they like the beaches. I mean, because they don't have them, and we're not a beach town. We are a more of a younger working. If you want some of the beaches, Naples will go crazy, Jacksonville will go crazy. So it's really knowing and talking to people. They think Orlando, even though we're 45 minutes from the beach, a lot of the times you won't do what's in your backyard.
Yeah.
So if you're really coming to Orlando to go to the beach, well, then maybe you want to go down to Vero Beach or Jacksonville Beach. And let's find that out before we get too far along looking here. And then 6 months in, you're like, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to be in Orlando.
How do you see your area evolving in the next few years, and how might that impact a new resident?
The area is just growing. It's growing like crazy. Like I mentioned, we had about 56,000 people move in the last year, and we are still getting about 1,100 people per week moving. So growth wise, with the new builds going out along the perimeters, um, the market is staying strong. We've got, I looked at this. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. It happened to be right in Winter Park, which is a little city just north of downtown Orlando. This place was by far nothing special. It didn't look like it had been painted in the last 25 years. The grass hadn't been mowed, but it was on the market for $1 million. Okay.
Wow.
And I don't say that to scare people. I say that to let people know that this is what they want for that land, because it is a total knockdown. And they want that for the land because there is no land down in downtown Orlando or in the immediate proper. So you're either going to buy something used, or if you want a new build, there is plenty of stuff. Again, out by Lake Nona, Pulte's having a new one, but that's all on the east side. Out on the west side in Winter Garden and Claremont, there's some new builds out there. Again, it might not be for these people who grew up in Atlanta. Traveling an hour is not a big deal for them. I grew up in Massachusetts. Traveling 20 minutes is huge, and these new builds they're only like 20 to 30 minutes outside of Orlando, and the road systems are great. You can get in and out very easily. But again, it's all learning what that person is used to, and will that drive bother them, or will they be fine with it?
We live in Hillsborough, which is by the San Francisco airport. And one of the reasons we're here is because pretty much everything getting to the city takes 20 minutes. Getting to downtown Silicon Valley takes 20 minutes. Everything is about 20 minutes away. It keeps you centrally located. So it's really understanding that system, which you can provide. One last question that was not on your list
Sure.
is, can you tell me your favorite real estate story?
One of the funnier ones is so I got a call from some friends of mine, and they wanted to move. They didn't want to be in the area they were in, and they had seen a condo that they were like, oh, this looks interesting, and we went up and we saw that condo. And this condo was it was a unique build. Architecturally, it was something so different than you walk in at the front of it. And condos here, they're not always in the big, tall buildings. This was like a 1-floor row of condos. And you walked in and there's the main building, and then you walked out the back, there's a little courtyard, and then there's the garage back there, but over the garage is an apartment. And we went and looked at it and they liked it. But one of the couple did not like the building across the street. Okay. So we passed on it. We looked for a year. Okay. And then after a year, we went and saw this one condo, totally different area. I'd never seen it before, the exact same floor plan. And they bought that one. That was it. So I don't know if that was in the back of the head, but we went around the horn that whole year of they started looking at single families. They started looking at townhomes. They started looking like everything, and they broadened their scope, and then they came right back to where they were a year later.
See, it manifested.
Yeah, could not have been happier. My other favorite story is this couple from Spain. We got them a brand new house, and they could not have been more grateful, more happy. Their son was ecstatic he had his own room, and it was...
Oh, that's great.
It was great. And just everything right there where we got them their place. They could walk to school. They could bike around the neighborhood. It was just such a family community that they loved it.
The stories like that I love, because they're the win-win, especially when the other family members are so happy. And
Yes.
you've affected, I always say, we're not saving lives, but we are affecting them.
We
And
are.
so,
That's great. That is a good
yeah,
saying.
thank you.
I might have to use that.
You could steal that. So, David, thank you so very much for being on the show. And for everybody that listened, David is the Orlando specialist.
Oh,
So, if
thank
you
you.
have any questions, David is the person to ask. So, David, thank you for being on the Real Estate Review with me, Alan Canas of Engel Völkers Silicon Valley. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been great to sit and chat with you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.